This is the case of Who Killed Mark. Mark, the victim, was found dead in his kitchen with no one to be found. However, that does not mean that there are not any suspects. At the crime scene, there was a loaded gun found with one shell casing and then 2 fingerprints, which will be looked at through VNTR, variable number of tandem repeats, to determine who in fact is the murderer. Mark is the dad of Lily, wife of Rachel, and is presumed to be innocent. Suspect number 1, Rachel, as mentioned, is the wife of Mark, which makes her the stepmom of Lily. She is caught looking/being interested in other men, especially the pool boy, Ryan. This, in addition to her being money hungry, could be her potential motive. Suspect number 2, Lily, is jealous of Rachel and wants revenge for her ruining her family. It is assumed she is obsessed with her hatred towards Rachel. Her potential motive is protecting a loved one, her dad. Ryan, suspect number 3, is Mark and Rachel's pool boy. He is fed up with Mark as he feels he is underpaid, and him too is interested in Rachel, so that makes his potential motive jealousy. Suspect number 4, Martha, is the ex-wife of Mark and mom of Lily. She is jealous of Mark's new life as he has full custody over Lily. Her potential motive could be revenge and power. Although it is known that Mark is the father of Lily from both of the VNTR loci, you can specifically see from the alleles how Mark is a biological parent. This is because a child will receive one allele from one biological parent and another from the other. You can see here that one allele from Mark matches the allele from Lily. It can be assumed that this was the allele Lily received from her father. Her other allele does not match as it came from her mother. Looking at VNTR locus 2, the same thought process can be used to see the 2 alleles match up whereas the other 2 do not, again as it came from the mother. So who did it? The 2 fingerprints that were collected at the crime scene were amplified for 2 different VNTR loci and ran on electrophoresis gel. VNTR is a type of tandem repeat in which a short sequence of nucleotides, typically between 10 to 60 base pairs, are repeated a variable number of times in a particular locus. Through the use of gel, DNA fingerprints were translated into samples, sample number 1 and 2. These 2 samples were compared and carefully analyzed to the victim and the 4 suspects to find out who in fact killed Mark. In order to determine the matches of each sample, both alleles must match the found sample. Looking at the first VNTR locus, sample number 1 is being analyzed and compared, and as you can see, Mark and Ryan are the only 2 that match both alleles for this given locus, which excludes Rachel, Lily, and Martha from being considered a match. Going on to VNTR locus number 2 for sample number 1, Mark again positively matches both alleles, but Martha now instead of Ryan positively matches for both alleles of this sample. So taking both the VNTR loci and comparing the 2 positive matches from locus number 1 to locus number 2, you can see that Mark is consistent, positively IDing him as a match for sample number 1, which makes sense since he is the victim. Now that sample number 1 is identified, we can proceed and look into sample number 2. For sample number 2, VNTR locus 1, Rachel and Lily were 2 suspects whose both alleles matched the sample. For the VNTR locus 2, Lily and Ryan positively matched both alleles for the sample. When comparing the 2 positively matched suspects from VNTR locus 1 to the 2 in VNTR locus 2, Lily is consistent in both, which makes her sample number 2 and the possible murder of Mark.